we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
And now we may clap because we got Bri and Udeme here.
Hey, how fun is this, huh? Episode 253 of Discussion Combustion Podcast. I think this is the first time in Studio Mila that we've had two on the couch. So this is going to be a terrific first.
Well, and it's also a first for having sisters.
Oh, what?
Yes, sisters.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, so we're really happy. We've obviously Udeme, you've been on before.
Yes.
And Bri, this is your first time.
Yes.
And
correct.
so
first podcast ever.
First podcast ever. And
Okay.
I'm a talker, so this makes me happy.
Okay, excellent.
I love podcasts, so that's good.
Now, what kind of is it, like a murder mystery? Is that your favorite type of podcast?
That's a good question.
What is it?
Like, it varies. So, like, there's a podcast that I'm faithful to. They're called The Read. They've been out, like, since, I want to say, like, 2012 or something like that. And I probably have that wrong. But the hosts, their name is Kid Fury and Crystal. They're, like, they're mainly, like, they kind of, like, all over the place. But they discuss, like, pop culture and, like, things going on in politics. And then they have, like, their read at the end where, like, they have a certain topic or a person that they read for filth at the end of their podcast. So it's kind of, like, salacious a little bit, but it's entertaining. Like,
So it's kind of current event based?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. That's the best.
Current culture, things going on. Yeah, I like that.
Definitely.
That's kind of what we do on our sister show, Happy Friday America.
Ooh,
we do this lightning round for any of the viewers and listeners that haven't had a chance to see that. It's fun. Art and I just kind of collaborate on like some news stories that we see throughout the week. It's very different than this show. You know, we just lightning round through something that we saw that was cool, and we kind of, brainstorm back and forth. There's the Would You Rather segment has returned over there, which is a lot of fun. So,
I like that question.
Would You Rathers are a lot of fun.
Okay, I know.
I haven't done those. I don't think I've done a Would You Rather before.
You've never done a Would You Rather? Let's think of a couple off the top just from Happy Friday.
Yeah. No, you go for it.
Would you rather lose your cell phone or your keys?
Oh, no.
Keys.
So you're sticking with the phone.
Why?
She's losing the keys.
But why?
Are you able to get into your home with your phone?
That's what I'm about to say.
Relax. I'm trying to think, I guess the reason why I thought about, like, my keys over my phone is, well, I guess it depends on what is, like, on, like, my keychain. Like, is it, like, because I have, like, separate keychains. Like, is it, like, for the car or is it
all
for
the
my
keys.
house?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, is your car, like, connected to your phone? Because a lot of people can enter their home
I
through
was
their
just
phone. They can
saying.
enter their car. They can start the car from their phone. Like, so it depends how you're set up.
It does depend on how you're set up.
It does. But I guess, like, if I lost my phone and, like, how am I going to contact people to, like, help me go get new keys? Like, I don't know. I just thought about it like that in a weird way. Like, what would be less valuable? And I guess...
So you're losing your keys.
Yeah.
Udeme.
I would rather lose my... I don't want to lose it at all.
That's the fun part about the Would You Rather.
Hypothetically speaking, I'll lose my cell phone because, like, it's not like you're like a teenager where you just got that one house key. Got your mail. You could have your mailbox key.
Ooh.
You could have keys to like locks that you need, or you could have your car key, like on there. Even if you can't enter your car, someone else could have that car key somewhere. Like that's like scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and then your cell phone, but you can. It's like an easier way to find a cell phone now and to.
Yeah, you
get
just
the
drive
information.
down T-Mobile, Verizon, wherever.
Yeah.
You get your phone replaced.
Exactly.
You're able to do that with your keys because you can drive there.
So Kev and I both opted to losing our
phone.
key. Losing our phones.
Because that's easier to replace
Yeah,
than
I
keys.
think so too.
Yeah.
Because like keys, like and then if you have keys to other people's houses,
That's okay. That's okay.
That's why
There's no right or wrong answer.
It's just a Would You Rather.
Feels
Yeah.
like it.
I like that.
So a more difficult Would You Rather, and it's a little risque, but that's okay.
Yes.
Would you rather give up sex for the rest of your life,
Oh, this was a tough
or
this one.
give up hanging out with your friends?
We got quite a split reaction on this on
You
Happy
can still have
Friday.
associates.
Well, so there's always that gray area on the Would You Rather.
I would hang out.
There's always that gray area on the Would You Rather, of course.
That's
And I remember somebody commenting saying, well, what if you could have sex with your friends? Whatever that may look
You
like. So
could.
that's the
I mean,
gray area of the Would
Yeah.
You Rather.
Yeah.
You could
mess up a friendship.
You could.
Yeah.
See, the Would You Rather is supposed to be tough.
blessing or a curse.
I'm not one of those people who like to have sex with my friends.
It's probably not a great idea, but it's
Yeah.
certainly an option.
I can't
is.
choose.
That's would you rather is supposed to be tough.
Yeah.
Damn,
No.
that's a really tough one.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And
We
you
go-
said no sex forever? Like,
yeah, forever.
Well, see how I was justifying it was I was like, you know, maybe like my partner that I'm intimate with, like, is somebody that like I could get really close with and have a good friendship with too. So like there is that
Exactly.
like as
Like,
like
with
a
your partner-
potential,
Yeah.
right? So like in the would you rather, like my friends got the chopping block.
Same.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
too. They're getting the chop because
Same.
look, girl, we could be homies. You're in my network. We're not best friends. We're in the network of the same social circle.
I see
Okay.
you on the gram. Like,
And plus, I have a good best friend sister.
Yes.
I got a lot of cousins.
Yeah,
I
that's
have a lot
family.
of-
She's
Yep.
family, so that's
I
like
have
the caveat.
family,
Built-in
yeah.
best friend.
So
Exactly.
so it's a no-brainer. It's
Yeah.
a no-brainer.
Bye, friends.
So we have a unanimous decision. We're 86 in the friends. Sex stays.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like most people will pick
Yeah.
that one on the
That
poll,
did win
right?
on the overall on
Yeah.
our on our
Okay.
Twitter X over there. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because we could like poll it, so like everybody can
Oh, you guys did a
participate.
poll? That's so
Yeah,
cool.
everyone can participate and tell.
Oh my gosh,
everybody.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah, I don't think so. Especially because I've already practiced abstinence.
Mm-hmm.
I practice.
good
I'm off
cycle.
and on with it. I don't just let I don't just let my body freely. So
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to like if the right person came up. I would not want to forfeit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when those right people come up, because
Yeah.
when the right person comes and the
Synchronicity.
rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rules of celibacy go away.
Sure.
So I wouldn't want to lose that because I know that I don't do it that often. So when I like to do it, it's like it's worth the while. So bye, friends.
I think that's a good breakdown. I think that's a relatable breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that puts it clear as day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an example of the would you rather's. We do that more on Happy Friday. So that's,
That's
a
so cool.
nice plug for Happy
That was
Friday
nice.
there.
Now, can either of
Happy
you
Wednesday.
come up with a would you rather for us?
Oh yeah. that'd
Do
be
you
good.
do you know one? Can you think of one?
Would you?
Let's see, 3 to 5
Oh.
seconds.
Okay, here it is. Would you rather watch the news or watch Disney
Watch the,
Channel?
watch the news or watch the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is like that was not a good one.
I'm gonna watch Disney over the
Yeah.
news.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
Disney as well.
Yeah, because they got like Star Wars stuff on there. They got some like dope
Yes.
shit on Disney.
Exactly.
They got like Marvel on Disney.
Yeah.
The news is like some propaganda push.
The news is nonsense.
Yeah.
I stopped watching mainstream almost 10 years ago. I still get my news. I have to stay up current
good.
events, obviously what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I get my news from a couple different sources. But like the mainstream media to sit down and watch that stuff, I can't do it.
It
That
feels
is
like
so good.
programming. It's like
It-
you mean.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fear mongering. It's a lot of
Yeah.
division. And it's not even news anymore. It's opinion based.
Yeah.
It's just some guy going there, well, I think this. And everyone's like, oh, that has to be true.
I'm like, what happened to the facts?
Right.
What happened
Yeah.
to them? I don't know.
Yeah, if I don't see it in reality, I'm like,
I just
I'm
don't-
a little sus. Like I'm like, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, you got to
And
be.
don't
sometimes
believe
it
it.
just seems like they just like I don't know how I got signed up for these People magazine emails, but I have to like delete them because it'd be like the craziest headlines.
You got to unsubscribe to it.
I think I need to finally because that's
they-
what
are-
sucks
are they
because
clickbaiting
sometimes
you,
I
though?
like the head,
Yeah.
the good headlines. I like the good
What's
ones.
the percentage, though, of the good to the bad on it?
Oh, then it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe because
See, then there's your answer.
Because the bad is outweighing the good.
There's
At
no
least
good.
like right now, because like I don't know, it just be like the most random stuff. I don't want to
Yeah.
even re-mention it, but it's like a Debbie Downer.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not-
gonna quote one of our guests, Jade IM. She was pretty
Oh, she was
great,
great.
and she said a piece of advice that stuck with me, and I'm pretty sure it stuck with you
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Kev.
I think about it almost daily.
Yeah, if it's not a hell yes,
It's a no.
it's a no.
Oh my gosh, I liked that one. Okay.
She was awesome,
Yeah,
yeah.
she was good. I
Yes.
forgot her
I
name.
need to watch
Yeah.
it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Jade
That's
IM,
true.
she's awesome.
She was legit.
Yep.
Either it is
Yeah,
what
it has
is
to
or
be a
it
hell
is what it
yes.
is. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a no. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people now, I think, everyone wants to be nice, which is understandable. We
Yeah.
live in a society where we're trying to coexist, and people have a hard time saying no. And sometimes the power of no is the power.
Yeah,
right?
I
If it-
think so too.
Because we get forced into situations like, I don't really want to do that, but I don't know how to say no.
Yeah.
And you learn how to do that, which did take me a while. It took me in my late 20s and early 30s to figure that out. To ask Art, I tell him no all the time.
Yes, I actually told him earlier that he's one of the most stubborn out of the friend group.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm stubborn too.
Like I'm not doing
Must be that
that.
Gemini thing, huh?
I know. I'm a Gemini places. I understand. It's
I'm a
funny.
Gemini rising, so I probably do say no to a lot of things.
You do.
That's good.
But I do say yes to if I feel like planned, but I don't know. I've been saying like no to some people's like parties if I'm like that's not a real party.
Yeah.
That is
To
just
get together.
We're getting together to have food. You can't put party on there. Where's the DJ?
Okay.
We don't have
So
a
you have
DJ.
parameters of what would be considered a
Party
party.
parameters.
Party parameters.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
It's
are
gonna take me
That is funny.
to go and like if I'm gonna be getting dressed up and like going and being interactive with people, the food has to be good. The music has to be, or I at least have to like vibe with the people and I can be comfortable with them. That has to be on point. And I used to let myself be forced into things like, come on, Dame, just come. Come on, Dame, just because I'm fun. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. Like, girl, because I'll be bored if you don't come. Okay, fine, I'll go with you. And then I'm like, that was horrible.
And then you're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Or you're the main like source of energy, so everyone's like
Yeah, like trying to like talk to you.
relying on you.
Yeah.
Then you're like depleted after. You're like, wait, what was that? And you like
Exactly.
don't feel like fulfilled. That's happened to me before.
Yeah, I don't like that. So
Well,
that's why I started saying
then
no.
when you start saying no, it doesn't actually hurt anyone's feelings.
No.
It actually like creates this scarcity of your time. So then it puts a bigger value on yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, nah, I can't. And then people are like, oh, why can't he?
Why not?
Yeah, why can't they come?
Yeah.
And then I know Kevin would be like, he's like, I'm busy, is what Kevin would say, and
I'm busy.
And then I would say the same thing. And then it's like, hey, if you make my calendar, like if I put it on my calendar, I'll be there.
Yeah, let me know in advance. Kind of like thing. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Which that reminds me of what you said earlier when you're like everybody wants to be nice.
Yeah.
I've been addressing that, my relationship with like being nice, because I think I had like an old friend that said like it's okay to like be kind, but being nice is kind of, I would say, like synonymous to like people pleasing, where like you just want to just be like viewed as this nice person and do all these nice things, but then like you're not honoring yourself. So recently I've been like kind of just teaching myself like it's better to be a kind person than a nice person. Like I don't want people walking all over me, and I don't want to walk all over people, and I just want to be in a place where I'm like, I don't feel like I have to say yes to everything, like kind of what you guys are just talking about. Like I should be able to say no, still be a kind person. Like I don't need to be like going on my way to like people please, because then that could even be like in a way like a little bit manipulative. Because like, why am I just trying to please everyone, and why am I so concerned how I'm being perceived when I'm just like I'm not honoring myself? So that's like been something I've been addressing a lot.
That's good.
That is good.
That's good things to reflect on because
Yeah.
people will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
and when
they
you
do.
reflect on like old relationships, like whether it be like personal, professional, you're like, damn, why did I say yes to that? Like you kind of like have like these like regrets where like you're reflecting and you're like, I could have said no, and like I wonder how a relationship would be versus like me saying yes to everything. The moment I say no, it's like, ooh, it's like I never said yes. Definitely. It's like, love Beyonce.
And that's a good
But
feeling.
That's a Beyonce song.
Yes.
That's a good feeling. Take the power back.
Yeah.
You know, like, that falls under the particular party parameters.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely. It for sure does.
Yeah.
So for example, last Saturday, I opened up my
party?
apartment to my friends and stuff.
Oh,
Ooh.
But on this particular evening, I was like, I want some solitude. Like I want Arthur time.
Yeah.
And my peer group was hitting me up like, hey, what's up? And I'm just like, nah, not tonight. And once I said definitive no, I felt so good. I like enjoyed my evening so much by myself that it was fantastic. It was just fantastic.
Oh, I bet you had
So,
a blast.
yeah, I
don't know
did.
what you did.
I did. Like I turned on the
You just
cool
did
galaxy
nothing,
lights.
yeah.
I turned on the galaxy lights. Like
Not just setting the mood for yourself.
I started like eating some sweets. I went and got ice cream.
yeah.
I had a little treat.
Did you have a good show on or just like music? Which one?
I think it was. I think I watched a little bit of a show.
Okay.
I think, but it was like probably some top 10 video game stuff.
Oh, okay. That's
Like just getting into
good.
like the lists, getting into some like the video game lists are fun.
That's good.
Cause I used to be a gamer, play all the time. I don't really play anymore, but I still like have an interest in video games. So I like to watch videos on video games, but I don't necessarily play them.
Gotcha.
But the moral of the story is saying no, like led to a really awesome night, opposed to like what you're talking about, Udeme. You go out and then you're like, that party was. I wish I would have said no.
Like, why didn't I just say no?
Mm-hmm.
The chicken wings were cold.
Chicken wings were cold. Wasn't worth my damn time.
Yeah.
Bring me out cold chicken wings. There's not even a DJ here.
That is like big for,
No
for like
DJ.
any event. It's just like, is the music gonna be good?
I
Is
need-
the food gonna be good?
I need good
How's
music.
the vibe gonna be?
I have to have good food. It's probably because I used to throw a lot of parties in high school. but
So
I
you
would
know how
go
to
to a lot
entertain.
of parties. Yeah, so I know how to entertain. I don't like to bring people over if it's not like a vibe. But if it's a small get together, I'm gonna tell you it's small. Don't you come over thinking
Now,
it's-
what's a small get together? Like, what's the maximum amount of people at a small get together?
currently in my life. The most
What
people I
is that?
want at my house.
What is that?
Like the emphasis on currently. You're like,
Currently,
right now.
because I know like I feel like when I get older, I might be more open to like having more people like in my home.
Okay.
Like at one time, but right now it's like maybe 5.
Okay.
5's the
Yeah,
limit.
5's the limit.
That's
Whether
a
it's
good
little
number.
children or adults. You know.
I mean, that's a decent amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that is a pretty good
talk
amount.
to people.
Yeah.
Everyone feels like you could.
The volume
interact.
control is a little bit more
Yup.
manageable. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
the thing. It can get
If
loud.
someone's walking to
Yeah.
your room, hey, don't you go over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't go. Nope.
That's a do not enter zone.
Yeah,
the
everyone
door,
take
the
off your
door is
shoes.
shut for a reason.
Yeah, I don't like nosy guests.
Mm-hmm.
Like they start opening like cupboards and like.
Oh yeah, no,
trying to see.
we don't allow that.
Yeah.
That
No.
bothers me. I'm
And
like,
sometimes
why
I
are you
think
so
because
nosy?
I'm not
Like,
nosy that someone else is not going to be nosy, and then I regret it, and I'm like, I bet their asses fucking looked at me. Just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean that they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
people
why.
get nosy. They go in the bathroom. They're starting to look around. What kind of
Right.
pharmaceuticals we got in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going
What
on?
body
in here?
wash is he using? It's
Yeah.
like, what-
But for like a
all
big
this.
party though, I want to have like a big party for like my first art exhibit, and I want
yeah.
my I have a cousin DJ, KDJ Above. Shout out to you. So KDJ Above, my cousin, through marriage, but yes, my cousin. I would have him DJ because he used to DJ my parties back in high school, and I would invite just a lot of people and a lot of like probably more popular like Coloradan people. So like you guys would be on the list, and like
Okay.
some other people that I know, and then I don't know who would have cater the food. Maybe something Jamaican.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Because, Jamaican food is really, really good. And you can, like, scoop it and eat it and just, like, okay,
Caribbean
cool.
food in general is just like
Yeah.
chef
Have it be simple, but not at my house. It would have to be at a venue, you know?
Okay.
But that's what I
Neutral
would want it
location.
to be. Yeah, like a big people insecurity. And if I didn't invite you and if I don't like you, you can't go to the party.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So someone's got to man the front door. They're going to be
Yeah.
checking you off the list.
That's like
Exactly
literally how her
That's-
high school.
Yeah,
like,
in high
house
school, I
parties
had a
were.
girl removed from my party.
Oh, really? So you had like
Sweet
bouncers on
16.
hand?
Yeah,
My
the
dad.
bouncers
Like, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, one of my friends back then, I'm just going to do another name drop.
No
Trevor.
name drops. Oh, you
Give them
only
alias.
if it's positive name drops.
Yeah.
It's
Give him
a positive name. He's not even with that girl no more. I won't name the girl's name.
Okay.
Give him an alias.
What is his rap name?
Why? Okay.
I forgot. See, because I just knew him. I just know him on I knew him on a personal level, so I forgot his rap name.
That's fair.
But he had to like beg me to like, no, please don't let her leave, Dame. No, like let her say. I was like, she said da 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 to me last year, and I never forgot. Like, 'cause
Oh, my goodness.
this girl said something so, but she said something so smart to me out of nowhere.
So
Like, and
can
weird.
I
And I was
ask a
being so
question?
nice. And have you ever had that, like, where you're like being
Yeah.
so chilled, and someone tries to like play you, like,
Yeah.
and you're like,
son,
You're like,
I
you're not
was
doing
just,
that.
yeah, like I was just so nice. I thought we were having a good vibe. You're gonna try to like
Oh, yeah. We deal with that
bully
all the
me?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's life
so,
in the big city.
Yeah.
right? Exactly. So it's one of those moments.
Like they're
and
trying
I-
to get like a one up. Okay.
Yup, and I
course.
never forgot it. I never forgot.
But what if she came to you and was like, hey, you know, I realized I was out of line that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if she came to you like that, would you rekindle like a friendship or something?
She ended. You know what's so funny? She did do that night,
Oh,
and
but that was like reactive based on getting kicked out.
that's true. It was reactive
Uh-huh.
based off of that.
Okay.
But if it was like in this life now, I would definitely forgive her because it's been a long time. That was like I was 16. I'm 33 now. I would forgive her now. But traveling back to my 16-year-old petty brain, that was the reason. That was my mean girl moment. Kick you out of my party, girl. Bye. But she got to say thank goodness because she was connected.
Mean Girls came out around that time.
It
That's what makes
was.
it more funny.
It was. I wasn't Regina George, but I was Udeme that bitch. So I have to let her know. Just because, you know, our parties, we really, at that time in my high school, I had like really good parties.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
And,
that was an example of you standing up and saying no.
Yeah.
and saying no.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you brought it full
Yep,
circle.
you did.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
The
Yep.
power of no.
Yep,
Yes.
the power of no.
It's been holding true for decades.
For
eons.
decades, yeah, a
Yeah.
long time.
It just shows that you value, you know, your space, what you are trying to do. Say no, you know, because everyone's going to try to twist your arm. Oh, come on, you know, come on. And if you give into that, it's like, man. And then the coin flip thing
Yep.
came in. So our friend circle started, let's flip a coin on it. And I got
I
really
still like doing that.
I got really behind this for a while. Because I'm like, this is kind of cool. There's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Do I go, heads is go, tails is no. And we were doing that for a while. Do we go out tonight? Do we go play pool tonight? Let's flip the coin on it.
I like
Let's flip
that.
the coin. I don't do that anymore for reasons I won't really get into.
Well, it's because now you go by the if it's not a hell yes.
then it's a no.
Yeah.
But
See, yeah, because the energy.
what I will flip a coin on is like, all right, we've agreed to go out. That's already been agreed upon. Do we go to this place or this place? Okay, this place is heads, that place is tails. Then it becomes kind of fun.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
That makes
I
it
like your
less stressful.
boots.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, these things got some miles on them. Yeah, they
Why
got
don't
some
you,
miles.
hold those up
It's
for
been a
camera
while since I
4?
did a boot kick, huh?
Yeah.
Let's
Look,
go.
we got camera 4
Look,
up
it's
right
even,
now.
it's got a nice hole in it. Look at that hole.
Oh yeah.
That is an urn.
Oh, yeah.
I
hole.
like it.
Look at that.
Yes,
A
yep.
funny story. Can I give you guys a funny story about
Please.
some boots?
Let's do it.
For a little bit.
What is it about? Is it about you?
No, no, it's not. For a little
It's
bit.
just funny.
I was like a little dance teacher for these little kids for a little bit. I had to get my theater life back on.
Okay.
Okay, this little boy, all these little kids, they just want to take their shoes off all of a sudden. They weren't supposed to. The teacher came back in, put your shoes on, put your shoes on. He could not put his cowboy boots back on. And he's like, I need help, Miss Udeme. Right? And I was like, helping him. It took us like a solid 7 minutes to put his shoes on. I said, who put these shoes on you this morning? Your mom or your dad? I already knew what he was going to say. My dad. I said, I knew it. I knew. And your dad, he was like, we're pushing it. He was like stumping it. Oh, can I get this shoe in? He was like 5. It was sad because he was 5.
Yeah.
At first, he tried to put him on the wrong side. Oh my gosh, sorry.
Oh, you put him on backwards?
He tried
Oh, yeah.
to at first, so I
Oh,
really
it's
had
not
to
gonna
help
work.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
feet like this.
It was hilarious. It was
yeah.
the funniest thing ever.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, because like I know your dad. These look like some boots that you and your dad have together. That's what it looked like. Like you got me and the mini. We got the boots.
Now,
Like, it was-
do you have a pair of boots?
Not
Do you have a pair?
yet. I'm about to. I'm
gonna do
going to
boots?
get some. I mean, no, I love boots, but I don't have a authentic
Like-
pair of cowboy boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really, really want to. I'm gonna tap
sure.
into my Alabama roots.
You too? You
Oh,
too?
yeah.
I
Bama.
want to as well.
Yeah.
It's taken me some time to get that Southern pride. I think for a long time I thought the South was a place to be completely avoided.
Mm-hmm.
But then it changed once I got mid-20s. I was like, okay, I need to respect my roots. The more I started connecting my ancestors, I was like, I gotta love that side of myself. I
Yeah.
can't
Mm-hmm.
only have either or. I have to embrace all of me. So now I'm more open to maybe some Southern style with our grandfather, our grandpa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a cowboy, Grandpa Charlie, rest in peace. We didn't get to meet him because he transitioned. So when my dad was really young, 7. So I just have this new pride and proudness where I'm okay, I want to embrace my Southern roots on my dad's side.
Yeah.
And maybe learn more about the culture and fashion and why things are the way they are. 'Cause I don't want to be completely avoided. That's that fearmonger revenge thing.
Yeah.
With the news and everything, where it's
The
don't
division.
come down here,
Yeah.
girl.
Yep,
It's
the division.
A lot
the
of it.
division for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of had to talk myself through some anxious moments when I went to Atlanta for the first time in 2022. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't need to freak out. I was
It
it's
was
Atlanta.
interesting.
But it's it was definitely a culture shock.
Yeah.
Down in Hot Atlanta.
Yeah. I was like, damn, this is it's still city life, but it's the South. There's still country aspects, but I was like, it just felt weird because I'm a mountain girl. I've been in Colorado most of my life. So,
Yeah.
going down there is ooh, I could feel it.
I mean, but some of the interesting things, climate might change.
yeah, that's a big thing.
The accent might change. The type of
Yeah.
words might change.
Dialect.
But humanity's all the same.
Very true.
All of us are the same. And that's one thing I've really learned through podcasting is with all the diverse people that we've talked to, like all these different people wear different hats and like do all these different things, had different struggles. Everyone wants to be respected, and everyone wants to have a voice and be heard. And like, and even if you disagree, so like, it's okay for people to have different opinions, and we can have different opinions respectfully. Like, just because if we were to disagree, like all four of us, there's no way that the four of us all agree on everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like we could still respect each other even if we disagree.
Exactly.
And if you can go into any environment with that, sure, we have to not get taken advantage of because there are like bad people in this world. But like, if you could go into any environment with that kind of openness, then you're gonna discover that there's like a lot of love everywhere. And it doesn't matter where you go. Like, there's still like respect and love there.
Couldn't agree with that more.
That's very, very true. I feel the same way.
No, you're right, Art. I travel a lot. I go a lot of places in this country. I cover a lot of NASCAR. So I'm in a lot of different cities.
So fun.
Yeah, love NASCAR. And when I go to these different cities, it's like kind of echoing his point. Everybody just wants to be heard. Anytime I sit down and have a face-to-face conversation, sitting across the table, which we do here, chances are if there is a disagreement, it's so easy to have that disagreement and be like, okay, we're still pals. We can go out for a beer later. Whereas like what we see online now with the keyboard warriors and the trollers and slinging mud,
So weird.
It's different over there. It's easier to sit behind and get into a texting war or social media nonsense back and forth. But if you get those two people in a room, from my experience, 85% of the time, it's going to be way more civil, and they're going to end up coming out of it handshaking,
That's
hugging.
so real.
you
Yeah,
name it.
exactly.
So that division also includes getting people not in person. Just, just talk over here. Here's your Zooms. Here's your video calls. Here's your social media. Go at it. Let's see what happens. It's like watching the lab rats.
I know. I feel like it is. I feel like it's also like the energy. Like, I think about like, what's that man's name? Like, you know, like the 90s like talk shows where like they'll have like controversial topics. Like, there's this woman that does history like lessons. She's a historian. Her name's like Lectual.
I feel like I know what man you're talking about, but I don't remember his
like
name.
he's like on Fox or something. I
90s
don't
man.
know.
Latin?
He's like Latin. He's like has like a beard. I forgot his name.
Geraldo Rivera?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I remember he has like an iconic episode where like got like graphic and like really violent on his set where people were like throwing chairs and like throwing bows because like they just disagreed. So it just makes me think like I feel like there's always going to be that energy that exists because like, you know, back then it's like we can't have this conversation online. Like, meet me face to face, meet me at his show, and then we could talk about it. Like, it was kind of like that hostile energy. So it just makes me reflect. I'm like, I don't know if that's like just like a human aspect thing, like more than like a, you know, like a certain time that we live in where we're like that energy is always gonna exist where people are like.
It's kind of like that's like a weak reactive mindset.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, like if you're gonna allow somebody disagreeing with you to like throw you off of your center so much that you want to get physical with them, like violent, then that's kind of like weak and reactive.
There's something like deeper also that's going on.
Yeah,
and that was me.
It's like projection, like from something deeper going on.
100%. That was me in my early 20s, teens. Like as I moved to Denver, Colorado, and was getting into this new culture and like trying to prove
you did
myself.
want to fight. You wanted to fight people.
I wanted to fight everybody.
Wow.
I was a very angry person, you know, and that was something I had to figure out within. As
Did
you
you
mentioned.
come here for college?
No, I just came here to do something different.
Nice.
Yeah, I came out of high school and was like, let's go west. Let's try something different. I grew up in New England, so came out here. I met this guy, and you know, here we are. So,
yep.
But yeah, it wasn't easy. I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy who would go to the bar and try to argue with people, trying to prove myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like this is dumb.
So you had that experience like being on either side of like the table where it's like I'm more calm, relaxed, not speaking from emotions versus like I have a lot of angst that I want to release.
Yeah.
I think it sometimes is like okay to go through that phase. Like I feel
glad
like
I did.
right after like college, I was a little bit. I wasn't like running around cussing people out, but I almost like, you know, sometimes like if someone would bump into me in the club or do something too much, I was not afraid to cuss them out. And I feel like I could still I think I've become a little bit more passive since then. So I want to kind of somewhat tap just a little bit back into her sometimes. I feel like it'll help me to like set stronger boundaries because sometimes you're like, I don't ever want to fight again. And then something happens to you, you're like, ooh, you're like, I don't fight no more, bitch. But then it's like you should like bring a little bit in where you can like find the balance of like, don't test me, but I'm not gonna like fight you.
It's like that whole thing like that, like everyone should be like a monster to a certain extent. And this isn't my material, but it's something that I remember, and it's just like, you know, people don't want to like step on you because they can sense that like you will go to war.
Yeah.
But it's like a respect thing almost. It's like you're putting yourself on the chain. Like it's like I'll let myself off the chain like as like a dog. I'm picturing like a dog, right? That's like protecting the house. So it's like you want to have that beast and that monster and like recognize that within yourself, like, oh no, you can fuck with me and find out type of shit. But I'm gonna take the high route though. Like I'm gonna take the high road and I'm gonna be a gentle beast.
Yeah.
You know, like in Beauty and the Beast.
Exactly.
You know.
It's like knowing the timing and like when.
I love Beauty and the Beast.
Literally, it's like knowing like when the time and place to bring that outside of you. It's kind of like it's good to have that, so you know when to tap into it, but you don't need to stay tapped into it.
Yeah, when you stay
it's
too
like,
tapped into it, it's like it's too toxic, and then you're just, I don't know. I think that's a danger.
Depends on which frequency you like want to like vibrate on. Like, do I want to be like the rah rah, where like I'm at war with everyone, like person at like the store, like the person driving in front of me. Like it all depends like what you want to get out of that day. I feel like
choose your battles wisely.
Exactly. And one thing I like that I feel like I had to remind myself recently is like observing versus absorbing. Like you can observe something without like absorbing the energy. And I've noticed like I've kind of had to like find a balance because like I used to be good with that. But like, oh, I'm just observing it, like whatever. It's not gonna get to me. But lately, I've been like absorbing most of it.
But that's a fine line because in just observing, like you almost subconsciously absorb it.
Yeah.
So like you have to have like an awareness of like I'm just gonna observe this instead of react emotionally to it. So there's like a fine line that you walk with that. But I could definitely see like
which side are you gonna go
how
on?
important it is to just observe.
Well, being aware of it though, just being aware of the possibility that you could be absorbing it, I think is, you know, kind of giving you the advantage of, okay, there's a situation happening. Am I going to let this affect me? Or am I just going to take that and go, sucks for this, you know, this individual, whatever's happening over here, I'm going to carry on about my business. I mean, we can't save everybody, can't help everybody at all times. There's some times where it's like, there's no place for me to jump in here.
You got wings? Like, did you grow your feathers? Time to test those motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
You know, because
It is so funny.
we can't be catering to everybody.
Exactly.
Like you can give people opportunities and like this and that, but like we can't just be catering to people. And like honestly, how I like to like do the inner beast thing nowadays is like observe more and not absorb. So your exact advice. And then with that though, like if I am gonna disagree with something, I slow down. I don't do it immediately, and I really think it through. So then that way, when I do it, it's like more intentional. It's not a reactive way of like releasing the beast. It's more of like an intellectual way of doing it. And then that way, like, you know, I'm like not getting at somebody to slander them. I'm more or less like intellectually testing them to see if like they're on the same level, you know. And then you can kind of sit there and observe.
Yeah.
Observe them, absorb that.
Yeah, and that's it's funny that you're saying that.
It's like a little mind trick. You're like, what do you think about this? Let's see how you react. Because I'm chill.
Exactly.
I'm calm over here.
Like you could be distraught inside, but you just like kind of like subdue yourself a little bit before you let it outward.
That comes with like maturing. Like it doesn't come with age. I feel like it really comes with like maturing. Like,
That's a good point.
Because I don't think like maturity is synonymous with age. Like I think it's more
that.
so synonymous with experience. Because like I know a lot of people who are older than me who are like, who's the youngest in this conversation?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then like I've even like had moments where I'm like, I didn't handle that too well. Like, my immaturity showed. So it's like just knowing that, finding that balance.
Well, see, but even the fact that you're able to look at that and kind of recap it like a Monday morning quarterback going, well, I could have run this play a little different or whatever. I like to use sports analogies.
Yeah.
That is like, that's when you're tapped into that. It's going, okay, where could I have improved here? That is a skill that a lot of people never, I think, come into. They're just like, I'm just going to send it the way it is. If you don't like it,
It's somebody else's fault.
It's somebody else's problem, right? You know, so the ability to look within, and then you got, you know, insults coming in because people are always going to test you with insults. Oh, you're weak, you're this, you're that, and Art, you know, we like to goof off with this one a little bit. So people be like, oh, you know what, Kev, you're a loser. I'll be like, my dad was a loser. It means a lot to me. Thank you. That's a
Oh my
compliment.
gosh.
So when you can spin it like that, and I didn't mean that my dad's a loser. I'm just saying.
We're just like, okay.
When you don't let it affect you.
Yeah.
And that took me a long time to learn because I was bullied in high school and shit, so I would always react to these kind of things.
Yeah.
But when you can spin like an insult or something like that, like and turn it into a compliment almost, like, thank you. You were thinking of me that way. It means a lot.
So live action,
It's
we were
funny
at
how, like, oh, sorry.
well, I just had a quick story on what Kev said.
Yeah.
We were at Dirk's Bentley Bar,
Oh.
and I ordered
a
some
good night.
food, and I was just sitting there at the bar waiting for the food to arrive, and like I saw this guy having a close conversation with Kevin, and I was kind of like sensing this energy a little bit, and I was like, all right, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Kevin wasn't getting me involved, so I was like, it's all good. And then the guy leaves,
Forgot about
right?
this.
And Kevin kind of has like a smirk on his face, and I'm like, what was up with that dude? I'm like,
your friend.
that dude seemed like
Yeah.
a dumbass or some
What's
shit.
going on?
Yeah, and so Kev's all like, well, the dude came up to me, and the guy like came up and started talking to Kevin and was all like, I don't like your face.
What?
Yeah, and he's all like saying that to Kevin, and
Yeah.
and then Kevin, like, you know, like a calm individual, he put his hand on his shoulder. He's like, oh, thanks, man. A lot of people didn't like my dad's face. It means a lot to me. He did it live action in the bar,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
threw the dude off. He didn't.
He's like,
Wow.
what?
Yeah, because don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, like, don't try to, like, who does that
I
unprovoked?
can't believe that happened to you.
That's so
It's disrespectful,
weird.
but it's like old me would have like, all right, let's go outside, let's fight.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
And what's that going to accomplish?
Yeah.
Nothing. You're gonna give that person what they want. Like,
Yeah.
you literally want a reaction. That's what sucks with, like,
I can't
weird
believe someone did
energies
that
like
to you. So when the
Yeah.
guy walked off, how did his demeanor look?
Defeated.
Okay, good.
Rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't get
Yeah.
a reaction out of Kevin.
I forgot about that. That was a funny night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
like, take you and your demons over there.
Yeah.
That's like how I feel like when someone's doing weird stuff like that. Like, what are you trying to get out of me? Like,
Well, and you're super tapped in with like
Obviously, yeah.
yes.
intuition and
Yes,
energies.
for sure.
Bree, you actually do like, is it kind of like a reading type of thing? What would you call it?
Yeah, so I have like, so my first deck I ever got was like when I was like, was it 18 or 19? I'm trying
You were
to remember.
19.
I was 19 from like my dad's ex, and I like, okay, just a little background story.
Yes.
As a child, like I was always having like kind of like paranormal activities like around me, and like it was a little scary because I grew up Christian. So like if it wasn't like flat out Christian, it's like, oh, that's the devil, that's demonic, like rebuke it, like, you know, like black or white, like no in between. So I kind of always had like these gifts, and like it took me a while to like accept them and cultivate them. So I want to say around like the end of my teen years into like my 20s, I got more into that, and like I kind of like surrendered to it, but I'm like, okay, this is like part of my purpose, like, and I know the occult is like still taboo, like as far as like pulling
What is it called?
cards. The occult, like
The occult?
occults.
Oh,
Sorry, I
occult.
said the occult. My bad. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm saying a little weird. Racist.
No, you're
But
good. You're
yes,
good.
So, it's still a little taboo, but it's so like I'm a little bit timid and still getting comfortable talking about it like publicly, because it's still like something I'm conquering as far as like the fear around it. Because I know like I have this gift, but sometimes I get nervous of like, oh, am I gonna scare this person away by me having like a sixth sense or something? And it's like I have a fifth sense. Yes, sorry, that's what Mean Girls. When like the girls like will touch her boob, she's like, it's like 34 degrees. She's like such an idiot. But she was wonderful. So whenever I like have like a psycho moment, I'm like, I have a fifth sense. So that's where that reference comes from.
Okay.
But yes, just a little background for that.
Because we already have 5 senses.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, girl, you have a 6th sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I'm a believer of the sixth sense. I feel like everybody has it.
Yeah.
And I've said this story on the pod before, but I haven't told you to. I've tested the sixth sense theory in public,
Ooh,
and
no.
and it's in many different ways. Like intuition can speak to us in many different ways.
Absolutely.
And so if you stare at somebody, they can sense that they're being watched, and
Yeah,
they
I love
will
to do
they
that
will
to
look
people.
at you.
Yeah.
They will look at you staring at them.
She's
See
a
in traffic a
people
lot.
watcher.
I do that when people I'm like neighborhood watch. I'm like, okay, hold on. No, they saw me. They feel me watching. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
why
don't
are you
know.
looking through the blinds? She's like, I'm just watching this car park. And I'm like, why are you watching this park?
And they can tell somebody's watching them. So if you do that in traffic, like you stare at the person in the car next to you, and even like maybe have a smile on your face or something, so you're not so like, you know, like, why is this person mugging me? But they're gonna end up looking at you. And sometimes you'll get a feeling, and then you'll look over, and somebody's staring
Staring
at
at
you.
you. Yeah, I was about to ask you how that happened too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
Or do you
Yet
ever like
annoying
have like
sometimes.
moments where like you know what someone's gonna say to you, like like, for example, let's say if you, like, Kevin are hanging out and then Kevin's, like, in the mood for Chick-fil-A and you're like, dang, man, I want some Chick-fil-A. I feel like Kevin's going to ask me, and he's like, you want some Chick-fil-A? Like, do you ever have, like, those moments?
We had that with pizza last week.
Oh, that's so cool. I guess you don't have to say anything. Like, you guys are just connecting.
Oh, but we know we're, like, interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're like,
That's
looking
beautiful.
for those opportunities.
I love that.
But it's like people who don't recognize that this realm of consciousness or intuition exists, like it's still happening to them, but they're just unaware, like they're not paying attention to it or
it's
something.
It's like a muscle, honestly. Like, I feel like we all have, like, psychic abilities that we can tap into, but it's like, you know, like, muscle, if you're not strengthening it, like, it kind of gets weak over time, but it's still there. So it just depends on, like, the individual.
So what was one of the experiences that you had with paranormal? Well, like, what was the craziest one that you had?
This was, like, really crazy. I wish my mom was physically still here to, like, vouch for me.
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's like, it was, like, the
you're
most epic moment. So it's kind of like, there's some tragedy mixed in with it. So our cousin, our late cousin Jeremiah, he transitioned when he was 16. He got hit by a drunk driver, unfortunately. And it was, I remember that, like, day, like it's just, I remember it vividly.
We didn't want to believe it. It was
it was so sad. It was really hard in our family. So I remember, like, taking a shower, and I got out the shower, and, like, I freaked out because, like, the mirror was all foggy. But then I saw, like, something say J, like, literally J-A-Y, and, like, his handprints all everywhere, and, like, a whole bunch of little J's, and I was like, I felt so afraid, and I was like, Mom. I called her, and I was like, look, and then she, like, looked freaked out too, and then she's like, get out the shower, and, like, just grabbed me out of the bathroom. I don't think she knew how to respond to that, but that was, like, a moment where I was like, oh gosh, I really have, like, a sense, like, a connection to, like, the other side, because that is, like, crazy. Like, my cousin just transitioned, and then I'm, like, in the shower getting ready to, like, go meet up with family. We had to, like, go talk to the news and stuff. Like, it was, like, kind of, like, a big deal. And, like, when that moment, like, while I was getting ready, that moment happened, I was like, oh my God, my cousin's talking to me. But, like, at the time, I was, like, 12 or 13. I didn't know that exactly. I didn't have the vocabulary because, like, again, I said I have, like, Christian roots. So, like, these things, like, we don't really talk about. Or, like, there's more, like, biblical terms, like, on it. Like, it's like, oh, you have a gift of prophecy. Okay, you're a prophet. Like, not like, oh, my daughter has a gift of mediumship. Or she's, like,
yeah,
a
it's like you had to
psychic.
put, like, a word on it.
Yeah, like, it had to be always, like, cloaked in, like, biblical terms, specifically, like, with the Christianity. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so, like, that happened, but, like, my parents, my mom, like, didn't really talk to me about it. Like, I told some family members, they're like, okay, that's crazy, can't believe that happened to you, but, like, it was never discussed after that. So a lot of, like, my gifts lie dormant because of, like, my upbringing and, like, the taboo of just, like, who wants to walk around and be like, oh, I read energy, like, I have, you know, like, I'm an energy reader. Of course, like, now, thank God, it's becoming more familiar where people are, like, more comfortable talking about it. Like, you guys mentioned you had, like, a guest that was talking about that. That's beautiful. Because it's something that I don't want to say it's new. It's more like a remembrance. Like, you know, like, it's something that's always been here, but it's kind of like, I believe, depending on, like, where we are as society, certain individuals or even, like, communities had to, like, hide in plain sight, where, like, they'll do it more so, like, you know, like, where no one's awake, or, like, having to hide it, like, hiding in plain sight, versus now it's, like, people are like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. So, over time, since, like, being, like, a preteen to now, like, adulthood, where, like, I'm in my late 20s, I'm kind of calling back my power and my confidence back in that, because it's part of my purpose, and it's so intense, where, like, you know, when something, you're meant to do something, you can't ignore it. Like, eventually, that nerve, that, like, hey, will get, like, so loud where, like, you have no choice but to surrender. So I find myself right now, like, currently in this time and space where, like, I'm surrendering to it versus, like, fighting against it.
That's exciting.
It is.
And, like, when she was little, sorry, I have to add this.
No, go ahead.
When she was, like, more little in elementary school, she would be like, I see your guardian angel. She'd, like, tell everybody, I see your guardian angel. And I'm like, what does mine look like? She's like, it's huge. It's walking right behind you right now. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Bri. I feel protected. So, like, little things like that. And, like, when we were little and people would take pictures of us, we would always have these, like, flashes on our forehead. And I guess, like, it'll be like orbs. And I remember my mom asking this one woman who came over, she's like a pastor, she's like, they always have these flashes above their head, what does that mean? And the woman told her, like, that means your daughters are blessed, that means they're covered, that means that they are anointed and they're chosen. And I was just like 9, like trying to like not be nosy, but like playing with my toys, like listening, like what does she mean by chosen? So then as me and Bri have gotten older, and I'm like 6 years older than Bri, so you know there's like a gap, 5.5.
Yes.
There's a gap where we weren't so close, but as we've gotten older, and then I've like realized that her and I have so much more similarities, and very like our belief systems are very aligned, and that's why we're able to be roommates, you know, and just like flow together and literally be best friends. But now I realize what my mom saw and what she was seeing. Like as we got older, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's real. Like no matter where we like, I just feel like we're very. I don't want to say we're above anybody else, but you could just kind of just feel like when you.
Well, no, y'all have a high frequency for sure.
Thank you.
Well, and it was demonstrated when I was walking around that little park in DTC.
Yeah. We just went to that park recently.
And I saw the two of you, and like I followed the 5-second rule there because I was completely aware of that 5-second rule back then. And I was like, I have to introduce myself to these two. Their energy is epic, and then look. You know, we started that conversation. Then you, both y'all came to the studio before, and then now it's like this repeat. We've been following what you've been doing, and so and just like what you were saying with the parties, like you go to the parties, and you know people are feeding off your energy, and it's like a responsibility. Like when you have that kind of energy, and like once you recognize that your aura is like humming at a higher tone, I guess you can say, and that's not talking down to anybody, but it's just like, you know, you have this higher frequency, you know, and you can be humble about that too and still share that gift with people. But it is a responsibility.
It is.
Because you can crash. I feel like people at that higher frequency, like when you get down, like you have a lower frequency than people too. So it's like you have to like really be careful with yourself and like your self-talk and how you treat yourself and stuff.
I think I went through something
true.
like that like last year where like my frequency wasn't like at the highest, where I was like I had to do a lot of shadow work. I'm like, ooh, I'm addressing these things I don't like about myself, but how can I like accept this of myself and like, okay, I don't want to kind of like, what do I want to decide like to like vibrate in? Like do I want to be like attitude Bri or like more like optimistic Bri, like deciding, because it, like you said, it can be like kind of like either high or really low when you have like that gift where
because like how you said, like if you are in a bad mood, it could really because the energy is that vivacious. And I've had that happen probably in like work experiences more than anything, where it's like I was overwhelmed and I was like, oh no, I didn't mean to.
And it's like a domino effect. Everyone has attitude. Like, did I start there? Oh, I did walk in after everyone. It's like, yikes, ding. Or like when you like walk in, you're like positive and everyone's like energy's changing. Like you take score like of your different experiences.
Exactly.
So it does come with the responsibility. But honestly, I feel like we wouldn't like our paths wouldn't cross if like the vibration wasn't also like a match too. You know, like you also are like vibrating high, and you as well, Kevin, because like you guys are doing this and how you guys are so consistent and like you guys are open to like different personalities. That takes a lot of like,
it does,
that takes like I feel like a higher vibration, because if you guys are just like on like a low vibration, you could probably like only want like a certain caliber of people, but the fact that you guys are like open to so many different personalities and energies, I think that's beautiful. And I feel like you guys do a good job of like protecting yourselves as well from like, you know, interviewing different people, like observing, not absorbing. Yes.
No, that's good.
That's a great compliment. Thank you.
It is. Well, I mean, like one of our criteria is like people have to have like a good energy to come on, and like people of all walks of life have good energy. So it's like anyone's welcome to come talk, and like this is the human experience. Is what we cover here basically.
Yeah, no one's pedestalized over the other. Like, there's people doing amazing things. That's great. They make, you know, billions of dollars. That's cool. Like I've always said, whether you're Joe Rogan or Joe the Plumber, we'd like to have a conversation. You know, because that's really what it's about.
I like that.
Good
you know,
people.
I didn't really hear about Joe Rogan until I watched Club Shay Shay's interview with
Her favorite.
why am I forgetting his name right now?
Are you serious?
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
I almost called him Kevin Williams because I'm looking at you, so that's what made it funny.
Maybe he knew you were going to say Cat Williams.
Maybe I did know about Joe Rogan. I don't know. Maybe I didn't, but it felt like I didn't know about him until
the Cat Williams interview?
Yeah.
Like a couple months ago?
Yes. I loved that interview. I watched it like 7 times.
It was great.
It was so bomb.
You didn't know about Joe Rogan before that?
Maybe I did. Is he a wrestler?
Well, he's a UFC commentator, and he was involved in fighting.
So that's probably why I don't.
I mean, you're not
I
that
don't
far
like
off the universe.
UFC.
No.
Okay.
It scares me.
But then Nate, did
Like,
they ever ring a
it'd be
bell?
like
It's
like
barbaric.
Their faces be open.
It's barbaric.
I
It's very
can't.
barbaric.
When I watched her get her teeth pulled yesterday, I couldn't even watch it.
You watched it happen?
She did.
She wanted me to videotape it. Oh my gosh!
I-
I looked up for 1 second.
Well,
He
you
was
guys
yanking
really
that
are
tooth. I was like,
connected at the
We are. I still have my teeth. I kept them.
yeah, she kept her
Yeah.
teeth.
Okay.
What are you gonna do with them?
I mean, I just like to keep them. I'm kind of like.
She's copying Kanye.
What?
Kanye West. Are you?
No.
Because in Kanye West's
What?
documentary,
What did he do?
Why
he
would you
kept
bring
his.
that man
I thought that
up?
that's what you did. Because he kept his teeth. He was like, Can you give me my teeth? My mama likes to keep stuff like this.
Oh, was that when he has wired shut or whatever?
Yeah, he got his like wires out and like had to get some teeth pulled or something crazy.
I just,
So
like-
why did you want to keep your teeth?
I feel like
You gonna make
it's
a
gonna
necklace?
That's what the dentist said to you. You're gonna make a necklace out of it. No, I'm not.
Oh, little
Um,
creepy
Kinda cool.
jeepers creepers.
It is no, hell no. I just feel like I feel like for certain things, it goes back into like the spiritual aspect.
Okay.
Just like me keeping. Okay, I'm gonna just be flat out. I'm just gonna just say it. My sister knows me. I kind of get on these tangents sometimes.
Okay.
So
Lord.
having a mother, she, my mom, she had lupus and kidney
Oh,
failure.
yeah. Mm.
So experiencing that and noticing like how she was taken care of and like kind of like the neglect she experienced sometimes being in the hospital, it made me want to be extra protective over myself in medical settings, because a lot of historic things and a lot of like testings are done on Black people like kind of like in a torturous way where it's like I'm like very protective over like my anatomy and like where I'm like getting my hair cut or different things like that for that reason, because I know like the history of some things where it's not, God willing, hopefully it doesn't always stay dark, but like a lot of times there's a lot of dark roots to things. So the reason being why I kept my teeth is because I'm still working on my relationship with like big pharma and like the medical field, because what I experienced my mother go through, and then also like different stories of women in my family who are Black women and how they experience some neglect being like in the medical field, especially after giving birth, doing checkups, being misdiagnosed. Like there's a lot of things and a lot of that need to be ironed out and straightened out when it comes to like the medical field, especially towards like Black bodies, especially towards Black women, in our bodies. So I'm just hyper protective over it. Someone call me paranoid. Some be like, girl, what are you doing all that for? But it's in a way, it calms my anxiety. It makes me more comfortable when I have like some type of control over what's going on versus like being too trusting, because I've been in situations where like, okay, like I want to say 21, I had a bad tooth get pulled out, and like I was just like left there, like no one like checked on me. They're like, all right, you're good to go. And I was like, okay, like I can't get like walked out. They're like, nah. Again, it was Comfort Dental, so that's kind of like a fast food. Like I'm not like saying like like not no shade to Comfort Dental, but it's like like they.
It wasn't like a private practice.
It wasn't a private practice, so like their not customer service, but like their how they treat their patients might be like questionable because of that reason. Yeah, but I
mean, this is a whole rabbit hole of a conversation that
It
Kevin
is.
and I have a lot of opinions
We've
on.
talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah.
anti-big pharma. I don't trust a lot of what goes on out there in the dental industry and the medical industry. I've been very vocal about my opinions on the vaccinations that we saw over the last 4 years. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I'm not a medical expert. I am not a scientist.
Yes.
Don't pull the episode, YouTube. But I just, I think really the big takeaway is we have to make educated decisions for ourselves.
Yeah,
we do. And
You know?
it's kind of weird because like I have a best friend who's been my best friend since I was 8, like who's in like the medical field. She's a nurse. She's wonderful, and she's educated me with certain things. But we've had like our own discussions where I'm like, we're butting heads.
She will sometimes make fun.
That's a smart thing to do, though,
She'll
right?
it is exactly.
Rather than just falling for, oh, well, here, just take this.
Yeah.
Here you go. Well, what is this?
What is it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
what is it?
We're here on that because like I want to ask questions, and if I'm making like the person that's like in a position that's giving me that like uncomfortable, then it makes me even more less trusting, because I'm like, why are you getting upset with me with these questions? You should want to give me this information because it is my body. Like this is my first vehicle. Like
This is the actual home.
This is actually my home. Like I'm a spirit. Like
exactly
possessing this body. Like I need to make sure that it's running. Like especially if I want to be here till like 90. Like I gotta make sure my shit is in order. Like you better tell me what the hell is going on with me. Or I'm gonna avoid you at all costs.
And so here's my quick hot take on this subject. Is that
raw talk?
Is that here's the raw talk take on this. Is I feel like in society in general, regardless if it's medical or not, a lot of people do the bare minimum. So that also goes into the medical field. So then when you are going into the medical field, they want to sell stuff. everything has sales included, right? So everything is technically a sales. And like growing up, myself included, like I trusted doctors, I trusted dentists, and
We all did.
but technically they're trying to sell me shit and upsell me shit.
Yeah.
Right? They're just like any other salesperson.
They are.
So they're trying to upsell us when we go in there, and then we, as a patient, want to trust, and a lot of times are uneducated, so take what they say as fact, and then so a lot of times walk down the hall that they point us to go walk down, without question, and then in turn end up lifelong patients to these doctors for whatever it is. And if they're and there's a lot of different things that could go down here, so I want to try to make this little thing quick, but like as far as prescribing and like pharmaceuticals and things of that nature, like they're giving a prescription to address whatever ailment you're coming with, opposed to addressing how the ailment happened in the first place. So it's like they don't even ask those deep questions like, why is this like this and this and that. And the intuitive person, Sue O'Callahan, that came on just the other week. Was that last week?
Callahan.
Yeah, I think that was last week.
She was last week. Yeah.
And she specializes in intuitive medicine that helps with people with diseases.
Wow.
And she's like, if I put mental energy into this person and their disease, then they might get cured without taking a prescription, without doing any of these things. And so it's like, I don't trust it. Big Pharma does exist. I was addicted to painkillers for a long time, so I'm like jaded with that. But I feel the distrust. Yeah, I feel the distrust, and there's a reason for that. And people should question their doctors. And we're not medical professionals here, but
I love how you keep guys emphasizing that. We're not medical professionals.
Yes.
You can see the industry we're in. We kind of have to say those things, of course, because otherwise it's labeled misinformation or whatever. But I think the point we're all making here is like these guys are able to prey on people, right? You come to them with a situation. I don't feel good. This hurts. That hurts. Oh, well, let's throw some pills at it before let's not even talk about holistic medicine. Let's just throw pharma at it. And it's like, can't we try some other things first? I mean, my mother just went through this. I'm not going to tell her whole story, but Mom's been through a lot over the last few years, back surgeries, you name it. But she specifically had a problem with her digestive system, and they were trying to throw all this pharma at it. Pharma, take these shots in the gut, boom, boom, boom. And so she went old school and went castor oil. Castor oil. This shit's like dated back to the 1500s as a medical remedy. Started rubbing it on herself, immediate relief.
The inflammation away.
All the things.
Then the doctor got pissed
The doctor
off.
got pissed when she's like, I'm just be using castor oil. This isn't working. He's like, the hell with it. Because he was then defeated.
Because he was going to get
he needs
some money.
He needs money. That's the scary part.
That's
when,
crazy.
Capitalism bleeds into that.
It's unfortunate.
I cannot believe that.
It's unfortunate.
I'm glad your mother's okay. I don't want to believe that. I'm glad she's okay.
I dated a dental hygienist, and Vicky, you're one of the strongest women alive.
I love you, Vicky.
No, she totally is.
My mom's the real deal.
She totally is. But I dated a dental hygienist just for a little bit, and she was all like, don't trust any dentist and this and that shit. Somebody who works in the industry.
Wow.
So it's like, if you're going in for that, do your research prior. And honestly, just do your regular shit. Like, we can take care of ourselves. Like, we can floss. We can use a water pick and brush our teeth regularly and promote a dental health for ourselves without so there. I mean, that's a whole we could have a whole 3 hour.
We sure can.
Yeah.
Oh, veneers.
I think veneers are crazy. I can't believe everybody's getting veneers.
To each its own, but it is getting a little crazy.
There's a lot. The cosmetic world is so profitable. Anything cosmetic is going to be profitable.
I'll definitely get some Botox one day.
Will you?
One day.
One day, yeah. 'Cause you gotta look how.
What does it do though?
Maybe I'll get fillers.
Freezes time.
I'll either get fillers
It freezes facial expression.
Yes,
That's what it does.
exactly.
I'll get fillers or Botox because, wrinkles. I know where they're gonna form on my face, thanks to some genetics. I won't name the family's last name that I am connected to. I can see that I'm gonna need it one day. But I just want
to combat wrinkles.
Yeah, and I don't want to get a facelift. Later on in my 50s and stuff. So I think if I get fillers, maybe by 39, I think I should be safe.
That's the cutoff?
No, that's the start point.
That's the start point.
Yes, so I'll keep going, boom, and then like right before I hit 40, just get a little, just a little tight, just a little snatched right there, you know, in those little areas, because I don't, and I'll do face yoga.
Face yoga.
Yeah, because I don't want to get a facelift. Because facelift, have you guys seen the facelift recovery time?
No.
It's a whole thing. Like a head bandage.
What does it do
snatch you
long
up,
term?
They cut your ears too, because I guess when we get older, our ears get longer.
Okay.
Or
You
something
said, what's the long term effect?
of having a facelift.
Or just any of that stuff is what I would wonder.
You just look cute all the time.
Is that what it is?
You either can get a big ass face, or you're gonna look cute all the time.
I cannot.
So,
what are you guys?
who's our favorite? Wait, Jessica Lange. Does she have work?
She does not. Jessica
Oh.
Lange. At
Are
least
you sure
I
she
can't
doesn't?
tell. I feel like Jessica
no.
Lange. Have you guys ever seen American Horror Stories?
Not enough
I saw
to.
some
I wouldn't
of
have
those.
not enough to talk about
Please
it.
watch season 3.
But what else was
Coven.
Jessica
She's
Lange
the
in?
goat. She was in Losing Isaiah, and she has
Oh,
another.
she was in Losing
That's a
Isaiah.
very sad. I'm so sorry I mentioned that movie. It's
We're
so
gonna stick with
depressing.
American Horror Story. She's just a
And,
really
yeah.
beautiful older woman.
She has
who's
an
like-
Academy
Yeah.
So
award.
here's what I believe was that beautiful older woman's secret is she treated herself good. Because if you're like constantly talking down about yourself and
true.
like you're negative minded and like you treat yourself bad for your whole life, like
That
I
is
feel like it
true.
ages your body more.
Yeah.
It can,
Like
yeah.
if you're positive to yourself and you're good to yourself, then I feel like that promotes a healthy body, which
Yeah.
includes
That's
your skin.
actually a really good point.
And also, like,
That is, but
diet,
what about
what you're taking
genetics?
in.
Diet's huge.
You
And,
know?
like, working out. Because, like, you're hilarious. Because our father, he's, like,
But maybe that is the issue with the other family members that I see. Maybe they're not
Like
confident
maybe
enough.
they're in their own head and like do they
Yeah.
gossip a lot? Do they
Yup,
gossip
they
a lot?
do.
Are they
They
constantly
do.
focused on the negative?
Yeah,
You
they
know?
actually.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
have a good point.
So it's like,
You do have a good point.
you know,
Also,
where's their
yeah,
head
good
at? Where's the
point.
headspace at?
That's a real,
That's a
you're
good
real
point.
for that.
So I'm going
That
to
was
stick with
good.
face yoga.
I
You
do.
know?
I had a feeling because Kevin was asking questions like, so what is a long term? I was like, I wonder how he feels about it. Because like, I was like, I wonder what your standpoint is on like cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Because technically we already have it. Like having braces is like
Yeah,
a form
braces
of
is a
cosmetic.
form.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
surgery.
I've had braces. Yeah.
Yeah, I wear snap-in veneers. These are
Yes.
snap-in.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Removable.
What?
I love
Yeah.
it. That's why he was
Live
like,
action.
How
Do
do
it
you
for
feel
the
about
show.
them now?
How do
you
we,
feel about them
keeping
now?
it real? Keeping it real. I do it for the show.
I didn't know. I would never
So I
thought
got
you
the
had
Hollywood
veneers.
smile.
My shady ass comment.
No.
No,
Keep
but those
it
are
real.
snap-ins.
It's okay.
That promoted it to be real.
Oh.
And they're snap-ins. They're not permanent.
I
So
have
that's
an
the big
online
difference.
friend that has snap-in veneers. That's
So,
cool.
so my opinion on it is, I can take these out. When people do things that are permanent, like Courtney Cox,
I'm
or,
like, sorry. I'm like stunned right now. Like,
That's good.
I didn't know.
A lot of people get stunned when I talk. I know, I get it. So Courtney Cox, I think of, who else do I think of? Dolly Parton. I think of these beautiful women that I thought were very beautiful. And, you know, they're still beautiful women, of course, but they have that, you can tell something is not natural. That's what I'll say about the long-term effects.
Yeah.
Like, you think of Courtney Cox on Friends, and you see her now, and she's kind of got like that just, there's that certain look. I don't know how to describe it. I think...
Fake.
Fake.
It's
Oh,
fake.
it kind of is. I can be.
Yeah.
No, I
That's the
get
best way to
exactly.
describe it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
I get exactly
her
what you're
and Demi
saying.
Moore confused like all the time for some reason. So
Courtney
when you
Cox
said
and Demi
Courtney
Moore?
Cox, my brain went to Demi Moore, and I was like, I don't know why I get them confused. I think because like
Maybe they both had work done and like they
maybe
look the
because
same
people
now.
always give Demi Moore like her Robin Plaza. Like
I love
she's
Demi
aging
Moore.
backwards, and it's like I get what you're saying. When the work looks like you can't like detect it, like you can't like be like, oh, I clocked it, like, oh, you got some fillers off her, like, you know, like, you don't want
Yeah.
that, but it's like, no, you don't want it to be like clocked, like, you
Yeah.
want it to be like kind of like as natural
Smooth,
as possible,
not
I
noticeable.
Yeah.
See, and I notice it too with these women that do like the lip stuff now. Like
Oh, yeah.
Casey Musgraves comes to mind.
Yeah, I
Leah
know.
Remini. Leah
What's
Remini.
wrong with Casey?
She just
I
got a
love
little
Casey
bit, a lot of
Musgraves.
fillers.
I just, you know, because I was
And
at
the
the big.
lips.
What's that?
She had a little bit of Lotta.
She had a little
Yeah.
bit of lotto. I don't know
And
what
the
that means,
I
but
wouldn't know.
because Casey Musgraves is a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she is.
But now that she's got the, I'm like, you know, I thought she was prettier natural.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and see, yeah, okay, and I'm gonna get real on this, okay?
Oh.
Like if you are addressing something like so, Kevin, you showed your veneers. I've taken the hormone blocker that blocks the hormone that makes you lose hair. Because I was like getting insecure about losing hair.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. So it's okay if you're working. It's okay if you're working
Your hair
on
does
yourself.
look good. When'd you do that?
Like I don't know. Like
how your hair
it's
looked
like
before.
6 months ago, but I was like in the back.
Oh, wow.
But like it's owning. Because everybody ages, right?
Yeah, we all
do.
And we're all imperfect as well.
Yeah.
So you can do your minor improvements and this and that stuff, but like the main thing is to stay authentic about it.
Yeah.
And like how we truly treat ourselves, I believe, is what people see. And no matter how much you try to project out, like if I tried to project all the time that I'm this cool person and like blah 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 blah, like everyone's intuition can tell who I really am.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if I'm being if I'm fake,
Yeah.
then everyone's gonna tell that you're fake.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest beef with like if we're changing how we look on the outside, did you actually do any of the internal work? Because just because how you change on the outside, if you change, that's the quick button, that's the easy button.
That is the quick one.
You know, where you're like, I'm gonna change how I look on the outside, but did you work on yourself internally?
Yeah.
And if you didn't do the internal work, then it doesn't matter how you now look on the outside, because inside you still feel insecure or whatever it is about whatever it is that made
that
you
is
feel
so
that
true.
way.
a good point.
And it doesn't matter how you look on the outside, because you still feel that way on the inside.
Yeah.
And people will
That's-
perceive you based upon your energy, not how you look.
Totally.
So-
You know, so it's like why even change anything? Work on yourself, change your attitude about yourself. I feel like is the main area that people need to
Yeah.
work
The nuts
on.
and bolts that make it. I like to use the car analogy, piggybacking off what you say. You see an old muscle car, right? It looks beautiful. It's been restored, but it's got a piece of shit motor in it. It doesn't start. You can barely get it to crank. It's leaking oil on the ground. It doesn't shift into second gear, but it's real pretty looking from the outside.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, right? Until we get under the hood and make this thing run, it doesn't really matter what it looks like on the outside. It's not going to perform.
It's not. It's definitely about the soul within, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a firm believer in like people can do what they want, like with their bodies. Like if you know for a fact you getting lip fillers is gonna make you feel more comfortable to like be able to like look people in the face and be a good person, interact with people, go ahead by all means.
Yeah.
I think just put your health first. So like God forbid if someone has like an allergic reaction or like something to it, don't be so vain to where you just won't remove it and you're just like, well, I'll die with these lips. Like that's like kind of crazy.
Yeah, no.
You know, like people kind of have this mentality, especially like
Yeah.
with social media and just in general, like as a society, like we are narcissistic people. I feel like by like it's just natural. Like we love ourselves, you know, like shout out to like the mirror, like the humans that created it, you know, like we love to look at ourselves. Well, I won't say everyone does, but like I feel like a good majority of humans do. So like it was just gonna naturally evolve over time. I just feel like social media is just making it more worse for like our subconscious mind, where it's like we're like, ooh, you see yourself, you're like, do I really look like that? Am I aging? Oh my god, do I see a line here? And it's like, yes, because we are organic matter. Like we're getting older, and
I think it definitely, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Has to do with like me seeing like the elders in my family age, and then I'm aging, and then like even like sometimes seeing like other like you know other younger family members, and like I don't know how to describe it. I just want to just be beautiful.
You are.
I want to stay being beautiful. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Is like your external beauty is based upon your internal self. So if you
haven't you met like the most sometimes the sweetest people?
Yeah.
No.
And it's just
don't.
You know. It's just,
Yeah.
And it's like men or women, like you know, and it's just like not saying that they, but like what I mean. How can I describe it? You are right. How about this? No, he is right. Because it's about the energy. So I feel like my energy is going to stay good, but I just want to protect it from the other.
But have you never seen like
things.
an older woman that she was wrinkly? She was obviously she made it to an older age, and like not everybody gets to do that. So that's
true.
actually
That's a blessing.
You should wear that. Like, you know, this is
That
an
is
honor.
so true.
This is an honor to get my wrinkles. But have you never seen like an older person? You're like, wow, that person was so beautiful. You know?
I have.
And you're just like, and you know, for her age or for his age, he was still so handsome and what a
I
gentleman.
have seen those.
It was like this aura
It's
thing.
like their ashe,
Yeah.
And
like
so it's just like an internal battle that you're actually fighting. What about yourself don't you accept is really the question, right?
I think I know what I don't accept. If I could
And
answer
and you can put it out.
Okay.
Y'all are connected. This is like a therapy
I think
session.
I sometimes
DCPC.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't accept how some of the other people in my family have aged. And because we have the same genetics, it has me scared a little bit.
That makes sense.
Okay.
But we don't have all the way the same genetics because some of them are aunts and got the same, we have the same mama or the same dad. So maybe for my genes, it won't do the same. But looking at how they have, turned out, not all, the ones I'm specifically talking about, I'm like...
But did they, treat themselves good?
They didn't, I don't know. Yeah, they didn't.
Were they, what I'm saying, are they constantly talking gossipy stuff and, are they
are,
always
rude.
focused on the negative? Do they always have something to complain about?
Yeah.
Because, anyone can sit here and complain about everything.
That
but,
is so
that doesn't
true.
promote a
They'll wear
healthy
on them
mindset.
eventually.
Yeah.
Because
does.
That is so true.
And
so,
also beauty's
so I get what
subjective.
it
Beauty's
is.
in the eye of the beholder.
But I get what
so,
he's...
You can be
Yeah, see, I get what
know?
he's saying. See, I used to think that it was just only, protecting your energy from certain people and, protecting myself, sexually from other energies and, having too many, soul ties. But I also do not like how they treated people or, how they're not optimistic, how they're not, ass friendly. So that is something that I should take from that.
Because right now, you're comparing.
Mm-hmm.
And comparing is, never a healthy thing unless if you're comparing yourself to the best version of you.
I like that.
You can compare yourself to what you know is the best version of you.
that.
And any other comparison, it's why are you doing that?
I think we're all naturally conditioned to do that too.
Yeah, and that's
so,
the natural route. Yeah.
like we talked about with O'Callahan
Mm-hmm.
last week, she talked about how anger is stored in the liver and how grief is stored in the lungs, and just certain emotions can affect the
What?
body in different ways, can deteriorate the stomach, you name it. And so that kind of ties into the affirmations a little bit as well. We push positive affirmations. Art, you've talked about it on Raw Talk. We've talked about it on this show a few times. If you continuously tell yourself, oh, I'm going to lose my hair, or oh, this is not going well, or I have this medical issue. Yeah, there's things that are going to develop, right? Science is going to happen. Things are going to happen. But if you can, constantly say, I'm sick all the time, I'm always getting this and that, chances are it's probably going to go that way.
Yeah. You're casting a spell on yourself with what you speak to yourself.
Your body believes what
essentially.
you tell it.
Yeah, exactly. When when you're for example, if you were heading somewhere, you're oh, it's gonna be, they're gonna get my nerves, it's gonna be whack, it's gonna be terrible. Then
you
it's
go.
triple that. Versus okay, I'm gonna walk in, it's gonna be good vibes, I'm gonna be nice, everyone's gonna be nice, it's gonna be a good time, it's gonna be a short meeting, but it's gonna be good. Then it becomes that. So it's what you speak out does become things. Thoughts become things. That's what I love from the book, not the book and the documentary. What is it called again? I'm forgetting. The Secret.
Okay.
One of the
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
The Secret's so
I
good.
love that documentary. I need to watch it because I've been missing it.
That's like a rewatch. You keep
You
rewatching
have-
that, you're gonna keep learning new stuff.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
you have to keep that subconscious going, feeding that part. Because
Right.
when he said that thoughts become things, it's a true statement.
Yes.
When you're for example, she just got over a bad cough, being sick. Sorry, I'm throwing you
Not
under the bus.
right, just over. Y'all
Okay.
are not. Y'all, it was
It's okay. Kevin's
You're not
immune. Kevin doesn't
susceptible
get
to
sick.
get sick.
It was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
But
I'm
we had
immune.
to keep saying, your cough's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone before the end of the month. Don't worry, it's gonna be gone. And it was gone. It went
Yeah,
away
I was scared
completely.
for a moment because, yeah, I was scared.
But that's the power, again, back to my Christian
Yeah.
roots. Power of death and life is within the tongue. So, you choose which one you want. And then it will be, our minds are so powerful, we can, literally, manifest anything. So maybe for you, girl,
Yeah.
be I'm going to always
I'm always
age
gonna look-
beautifully.
yeah, I
I'm
was
gonna
about
look
to say-
good.
That's what I was
I'm
gonna
I was
say.
about to say thank you for
I was
gathering
gonna say that.
me, gathering me with that with the comparison thing, because I think I didn't realize I was comparing, and I feel I just feel I'm in a place in because I'm in my early 30s where I don't know, you kind of
Society's pushing on you.
yeah, and then we're
Right.
also you're realizing what has made you and who has impacted your life to be who you are, and who are the most impactful people, and even if they weren't there, how they still impacted your life even by the absence of them, or things like that. So I feel a lot of my thought process towards the people I was talking about was probably more on that spectrum of me being that's why I'm like this, or that's why I'm not like that, or this is how that affected me, but I can still change it. So yeah, maybe no fillers or no Botox anytime soon. Maybe just.
I mean, I don't see any need for it. I don't see any need.
She's gorgeous.
And you know, that's the thing, and like I asked those difficult things in a respectful manner.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Because,
I was like,
you know, because I try to call myself out on that. Like even though I'm very mindful, I've been thinking about my thoughts for a long time. Like everybody can slip and like start going down a negative path.
Yeah.
And then if you don't catch yourself, then you're just gonna keep on like, you know, talking bad about yourself or like talking bad about whatever it is. Like it's easy to. It takes diligence to stay on the high road.
Yeah.
Like you have to go up a hill to get onto the high road, right?
You do.
And like you got to stay climbing sometimes. Sometimes we accidentally take that off ramp to the complacent boulevard or whatever it may
Easy
be.
exit.
I like that
Exactly.
complacent boulevard. Yes. That is very
I'm gonna
true.
open up another one.
Because that just had me thinking about, again, like back with society. Like I feel like the pressure's on everyone, but I think sometimes I don't want to say sometimes. I think it's evident how like much it can be pushed on like women. Like, you know, like kind of like being. It's kind of crazy. Like I've noticed it within myself. From like,
like the Barbie movie.
yeah,
Still
you know,
haven't
I
seen
didn't
it
see
yet,
the
but-
Barbie movie, but I know like the concept of it. I haven't seen it yet. Like I only seen like in parts. Like
I didn't see it.
there is some.
Yeah, I
random-
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I want to watch it, but like I think sometimes when it's like there's like a big like cult following, it kind of like does the opposite for me. Where I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to see it. I'll see it on my own time because like, I don't want to be like too much like with like the collective energy. Where it's like it happens sometimes, but it depends on how I'm feeling. But as far as like beauty standards, I think that's really pushed on a lot of women, and especially me. Like I'm 27, I'll be 28 next month, and Taurus King. So I'm like starting to get like these thoughts where I'm like looking at like retinols and like different like serums and
She
eye
helps me
creams.
out a lot.
Yes, I do. That's why I mentioned like gua sha. Like that's a way of like, you know, like that's like a natural way of, like keeping your face like contoured, where like you're like doing like lymphatic drainage, like where that's a way of, like taking care of your inside so you look good on the outside without like the, you know, like invasive surgeries and stuff to like kind of like keep everything or almost like plastic like. So I feel like as a woman, a young woman, as I'm like, ending my 20s and approaching my 30s, these like thoughts are coming into my mind where I'm like, oh my God, like, is my stock about to go down? Like, you know, I'm kind of looking at myself like I'm objectifying myself, and it's like, why am I doing that? And it's like, because society does condition like everyone, but in particular what I'm talking about, like women, is like,
It's either
when you're
get
30,
pretty. It's like you better get prettier or you better stay pretty.
Yeah, or
It's
you
like
better
this,
settle
like, pressure.
down. You better
Yeah.
get married. You better do something around this age. You can't be single and just still trying to figure it out.
Where's that influence coming from in society?
So, you know what's funny? Sorry, go
like
ahead.
everywhere, but is there examples?
I think that it
I think
really
media is a
comes-
big one. Like,
yeah,
for me
media. I think
personally.
media, but I also think like the pretty privilege, that term comes into play.
Princess
like,
programming.
literally, because there could be moments like where you know, you go out with no makeup, you just have a hoodie on, you're just chilling, and you don't get treated the same way that you do when you're like a
Dolled
put
up.
together woman. Everyone's like, oh hey, doing good, da 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 da. You
Or
know,
they're not smiling. Someone's like rude. Like it's like these different.
or like if your
innuendos.
nails aren't done, then the people just be like, all right, well here's a change.
Yeah.
I'll take your card. It's like these little small things like that. And then even when it comes to, you know, working at a job, like if you are really pretty, they're going to want you more in the front versus in the back. They want you to bring in the money, but you're like, I'm a little shy today. I got to be can I just be in the back? No, like everyone loves your energy when you come in, like,
And you feel like,
come on. Yeah, then you feel like, okay, well, it's my job to like look good and be friendly. At least that's like my retail purpose. There'll be like some moments where I wouldn't want to speak to customers, but because I was like one of the, you know, a pretty girl that was working there, they're like, can you be right up in the front? Can you work at the fitting room? Can you work in cashier? And I'm like, can I be a merchandiser? They're like, no. Do you see the way the merchandisers walk up in here? They were in sweats and like no makeup.
we can't have
and
another one of you. Like you
Yeah,
gotta be like
you know.
either choose either or.
So I feel like I definitely feel like in my life I was conditioned to. I was told more that I was beautiful than I was smart, you know, or like than talented. It was just like, you're pretty, you're pretty, you're pretty. It was more of that's, I don't know.
So it's like society is putting a bigger value on your aesthetics opposed to like your entity and your intellect.
Yep, exactly. And it's like society maybe pressured like my inner circle of people who helped cultivate who I am to like pressure that girl. If she is, you know, pretty, keep her pretty, or if like, you know, if she's smart, keep her smart. Don't like, you know, like certain things like that. Or if she's hardworking, keep her hardworking.
Or if you're
So
like
weird.
struggling with your mental health, like, oh, you're too pretty to be sad. Like different things like
You're like,
that.
what is that?
It's
Yeah,
expectations.
you know, and like even like me, I've been plus size most of my life. Like my weight has fluctuated, so it's like people are like, "Ooh, you just need to lose weight, and you'll be just perfect." You'll be great." And it's
that
like,
has been.
it's like always like this. It starts very young. Like and another thing when you like, where does that come from? Also, just observing society, like even like our personal societies, right? Like with our community, where like, I'm noticing like my niece's grandmother mentioning like no more sweets, like because your belly is getting big. It's like, what?
So she's 4.
She's 4.
Yeah.
Let the little girl like get her in soccer if you want her to like be active, but like why are you like policing her body? But like, you know, like her little brother is not getting that. So it's like it's different things that you observe where it's like, damn, like it's at any corner. Like I have to like be like hyper aware of like blocking this energy out and kind of like you said, saying affirmations, affirming to myself like I'm enough, like I'm beautiful, like even if I don't meet this standard of beauty, like in someone else's world, I meet the standard in my world. Like I'm the hottest thing in my world. Like that's what matters most versus like the world where I had to like, you know, abide by these certain rules and standards. So
it's so funny that you're saying like that like I feel like I've had to consistently remind myself, you are talented, you are innovative, you are a great artist. Your art deserves to be seen, because I feel like I wasn't hearing that, you know, enough from like, I don't know, the people younger than, or not younger than me, people who raised me, but even like teachers and things like that. So it's like my responsibility to make sure that I feel and know that I'm talented and know that I'm capable and know that I can be a great entrepreneur and know that I can believe in myself. But then there is those like shallow moments where I'm like, wait, you got the filler. Okay, you know.
I think it's just being aware of it,
Yeah.
right, and balancing all, and putting it all. Going, okay, what am I doing here? What can I control?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we can only control what we can control.
yeah.
And one of those things is like positive affirmations, reminding yourself you're a great artist, reminding yourself that, you know, you're very tapped into energy, and just knowing those things about yourselves, and how can we take that to the next level? It doesn't matter what Instagram says or some Yahoo on the side of the road. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like building that like confidence, like where it doesn't waver, where it has to like just like stay. It's like it's easier said than done, but it's possible. You know, like but it is possible. I think that's an important thing to remind ourselves. Like we can do these things.
Yep.
You know, like these intrusive thoughts, or like I don't know, a lot of what you said about like with like Botox and stuff. Maybe that was like not yours, and you like picked it up along the way.
I think it's
like 'cause, you know, a
I
lot of
feel like
things
it's
can
I've
be
seen the
taught to us.
benefits. This is real. I've seen the benefits of other people where it's like, okay, I won't say no names, but hey, that she got a whole new face, and now look at the bank account. The bank account is whole brand new too. So then it's like, then you are right. That is society's pressures of being like, well, if you want to be a great female entrepreneur, you got to be smart, you got to be witty, and you got to be beautiful. You got to stay beautiful, because your looks are gonna pay. So when you see that, you know, like I'll just say my fave. I'm looking at Beyonce. I'm like, bitch, you're 9 years older than me. Let me look closer. No, Wrinkle, do you smoke? Okay, you probably won't smoke. Do you drink anymore? Are you still on that vegan diet? You put ginseng in your tea. How much money Beyonce? Let me get some ginseng in my tea, because look, it's gonna get me elevated. It's gonna get me, boom. It's gonna. You mentioned Dolly Parton. That's another powerful woman.
Who's proud of her plastic surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
She owned it.
Yeah, she did.
Like Cher looks so good, but it's paying her to look good. You know, Demi Moore, maybe she doesn't like have a lot of Botox, but I'm pretty sure she does face yoga. I'm pretty sure she's doing yoga. She's doing something to like keep it up. So then if you're looking at the people that you are, you know, you look up to, or like Kelly Rowland, and I just love Destiny's Child, clearly. Then you see people who have went overboard with it, unfortunately, like Lil' Kim, and you're like, see, no, girl, now the too much surgery brought the stock down. You know, so it's
someone
like
looks unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
like there's
Sammy
like there's like a
Sosa.
value
Sosa.
in like.
Yeah, skin bleaching.
Oh, actually, so did you say stem cells?
No, I said
Sammy
Sammy Sosa.
Sosa.
Oh.
I'm sorry, because I said he looks different.
Yeah.
But that was like that's more like that's kind of like deeper on like
Because
self-hatred, but still.
Yeah.
I straight up got an affirmation where I tell myself that my stem cells constantly regenerate
Oh, I
and,
like
and
that.
heal myself.
I love
And so I'm sitting there like imagining that like from the bone marrow, like in the center of the bone,
That's so
and I like
cool.
visualize it all, and I'm like, yo, my stem cells are just like on overtime.
so,
wow,
do you know
that's
how
and they keep
powerful that is?
they
Though?
keep regenerating.
Yeah.
You know, and life is full of
you look
cycles.
good.
Well, thank you. I've
Yeah.
been good to myself recently. I wasn't always so good. I used to look like a drug addict because I was. So those people don't look good. But it's like, you know, and there's different cycles in life, you know, and life is precious because it's not forever. And, you know, we have to continue to move with life in these different cycles. And maybe your looks and aesthetics were meant to fill the purposes of one cycle in life. And then as we get older, like, we're meant to do something else with our lives and our energy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's okay if things move on. Like, we don't have to stay attached to specific things in our life.
We don't.
You
That
know,
is such a
like
good
we
point.
could keep moving.
Yeah, like I used
And
to.
it's going to move if we don't want to or not.
Everything's
Exactly.
temporary.
You know?
Isn't there like scientific like studies? I forgot what it said. Where every 7 years, I don't know if our personalities change or like something happens with us. Like
Is it our bodies or our personalities?
something. They're like we change like every 7 years. Like there's like some type of growth that happens within our body.
I've heard something similar to that.
You know,
Yeah.
like I forgot like where I heard that from in the exact quote, but I believe in that. Like especially what you just said about telling your stem cells, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I can like envision like the electricity in your brain like going down to like your nerves into like your stem cells, like
No,
and
I
how
love
like
that.
regenerating
Like,
Stem
Glowing,
cell
I can, like,
therapy.
yeah.
I like
Reminds me
that.
of osmosis.
That's a good one.
Is
Well,
that
that's
the
like
name of the
something I've
movie?
never
I
thought
forgot.
about. Yeah.
The affirmations are great. I mean, when I lay in bed at night, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I got this. I'm always kind of just reaffirming to myself that I'm strong, I'm healthy, I got this. Do that throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's one of my go-tos. You know, and it's like no matter what happens, we're going to get through this thing today.
Yes.
And it really comes in handy when I feel like shit. Maybe I'm hungover, maybe I didn't get enough sleep, maybe I got something going on, and I'm like, okay, I have a podcast to do, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I got this. And we're going to go get through it. I've seen it work firsthand. Art definitely got me dialed into those affirmations. I've been doing it for almost 10 years now, and they've changed my life.
Yay.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Crucial.
Bravo and the consistency.
I like
Yeah,
that.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
That's
stuff.
beautiful.
That's so
you guys are
cool.
intentional people.
Yeah.
Which makes me happy. Like I can tell
Thank
you guys
you.
like set the time and like say what is my day gonna look like? This is how I want it to look like. Like
Right.
that's important because sometimes I've been like trying to get back on that wave recently because I've been bad. Like I'll be like, oh, I got an email. Let me check my phone really quick. And it's like,
Oh, I'm
why
bad
am
at
I
checking
doing
emails
that first thing in the
Yeah.
morning? I'm like, the next thing you know, I'm like, I'm attached to my phone all day because that's the first thing I did in
It's
the
a
morning.
tough one
Yeah.
Yeah, like
because we're all attached to it.
exactly. But I love like she mentioned her fave, my fave as well. Well, it's both our faves.
Beyonce?
No, Miss Badu, Erykah
Oh,
Badu.
Erykah Badu.
Yes.
I didn't mention Erykah Badu.
We didn't. No, you said because you said my fave, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna mention one of my faves.
Oh,
That's why I
okay.
said it.
But she's still
yeah,
one of my
we
faves.
we had the pleasure of meeting her last summer.
Yeah, we got to
Okay.
meet her. It was so
Yeah.
fun.
That's fun.
beautiful, and
It
wish
was
we had
so
a-
cool.
Yeah,
We got to hang out with her.
it was
Even
a
better.
good time.
Like, yeah.
like
Like a whole hour.
Personal level.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was like a community of all of us, like in like backstage of hers.
Okay.
It just felt like
Oh,
it felt like it felt
it
like an
was a
out of body
dream.
experience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like my whole life, like I just have been like, she's like been around me my whole life. Like Baduism like came out like a year before I was born, so I was like, oh my goodness, like this is just, it's like life changing. Like it was a beautiful moment. I'm grateful for her artwork and that her energy was good and that we were able to like cross paths. I'm excited for us again when it happens. I'm
Yeah.
just calling it, claiming
Yeah.
it.
We're gonna meet her
yes.
again.
But the reason why I mentioned her is because she posted something. You know, she's peculiar. You know, like she's not for everyone, but she finds her tribe, and I like that about her. But she's like also very spiritual as well, which like again I connect with. So she mentioned, she's like, you know, when you first wake up, she said, you know, it's easy to grab your phone, but I learned that she keeps her phone like across the room from her when she's like in her room, and she wakes up and she like walks outside barefoot, gets like her vitamin D. She like touches a tree. She's like, I like to be connected with the earth. She's like, because I'm still nature. I'm organic matter. Like I want to connect with this before I connect with that. Even though she doesn't like completely dismiss science, she loves science. I think she's one of those people, and I believe I'm one of them as well, where like spirit and science go hand in hand. Like, you can't have one without the other, where it's like it's important to have it and find that balance of the two. So her mentioning that, and like recently I'll say my days, like for sure, like within the past few weeks, I'm like, I just want to get back on this kick where I'm like, okay, I meditate in the morning, I journal a little bit, maybe write down what my dream was about, pick like a affirmation card. Like, I was so good on that, but like I allowed other things in my life to like kind of get me off of that like wave, and that's like a hard thing about like
This is your self reminder.
Yeah, it is, you know, because like especially when you know like you're like tapped in, like a tuned in person, and like when you get off of that, you can feel when you're not. It's like day and night, and you're like, what the fuck? How am I gonna get back on this wave?
Yeah,
but
like
you,
something went off.
Yeah, you know, but you have it within you. I think that's like a big thing that I'm telling myself. I'm like, girl, we have it within us. We can do this. It's just like, what distraction are you gonna cut out, and how are you gonna recommit yourself to this? Because it's important.
Yep.
And you notice like the difference where like lately you've been having terrible attitudes, and now like why is that? And it's like, because I haven't been like meditating. I haven't been journaling my
You haven't been
thoughts.
checking your boxes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
have to, like,
pouring
fill in
into
with
myself.
yourself.
Then you're like, where the fuck am I pouring from?
Yeah.
Like, in a way. So I know I'm getting cussing.
No, it's good.
Oh, no,
uncomfortable.
you
You're
do.
Yes.
I definitely believe in, like, I like to listen to, recently, Neil Goddard. What was his name?
Neil? What's
No,
his?
I think that's his name.
Really
I was
quick.
going to say Goddard. I'm listening to him
Let
a
me
lot
look him
lately,
up.
and then,
Am I on my phone? I was like, am I?
and then still reminding myself to smile. Like, force that smile when I wake up. So I definitely, but for a little bit, like in stressful situations, I kind of like get up and I'm just going to my to-do list.
Neil
But
deGrasse.
no.
That's the scientist.
Nope, Neil deGrasse is a scientist.
My bad.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Right. But randomly, you
love
guys, in my head this whole time has been playing random Beyonce songs from her new album. Have you
In your
guys
head.
in my head? Have you guys heard her album?
Not the new one.
It's so good.
I haven't heard it.
It's country-esque.
Is it?
Do you guys have any interest in listening to it?
Do you guys listen to Beyonce?
I mean, I've heard like, you know, they got it on the TikTok reel. You know?
Oh, okay.
I haven't
Like,
seen
like
that.
this ain't Texas, so put
Oh,
your
yeah,
cars down.
Texas Hold'em.
Let's put the cars down.
Yeah.
You know,
I might like that.
That's like, yeah, you'll
It's
like
good.
it.
I think
That's
you'll like
the
that
least,
one.
You know what's funny? That one's, in my opinion, you're gonna, if you give
there's other ones.
I think you
like,
should listen to
blows that one
Tyrant.
out the water.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play.
We got music
yeah.
homework.
We're
Yes,
gonna play
you.
some when we get off here.
Yeah.
But this conversation has touched a lot of different levels.
It has.
This was deep, guys.
It did get deep.
Wasn't that great, though?
It was. I think it's
Yeah.
probably because we haven't seen you guys in a while, too.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah,
like a
part
fun,
two,
like,
if you
yeah.
guys allow.
Well, we always have the repeat guests,
Like
Yeah.
you know.
getting.
Once you're in the wheelhouse, there's really no getting out.
Yes.
There isn't.
Not like
It's like The
a
Sopranos.
cult. No, not The Sopranos.
You're in the family.
What's your favorite Mobster movie?
Ooh, Mobster movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say The Many Saints in Newark just because it's the
Okay.
prequel to The Sopranos, and The Sopranos is my favorite mob story. It's it's the prequel to The Sopranos, where James Gandolfini's son Michael Gandolfini plays a young Tony Soprano.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't see that.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. That's probably. I mean, people probably thought I would say Godfather or Goodfellas or something like that.
Mine. That's why I got excited.
Those are great mob movies. I appreciate
I've
them.
never seen any mob movie.
They're fun.
None.
I
They're fun.
love how they're shot. I'm into like cinematography. That's why those movies.
There's a whole art to it.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Even though it's like dark history, but I'm like, bang bang.
But
It's
it's,
fun.
it's
It
real
is.
history. Like the world
is.
is. There's a lot of beauty here, but it's not always a pretty place.
Yeah.
But
Good way to say it.
both of you are sharing epic energy.
Oh, thank
Y-
you.
Where can everybody check out both your stuff?
Oh, yay. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I'm looking a little shy again, but you can find me on Instagram at Divine Bri, spelled with 2 B, so like Divine BBRI.
Okay.
So you can find me, and also like my Twitter. I'm not on there that much, or X, whatever.
Twitter
called
X, we
now.
just call it Twitter X.
Yeah. Shout out to.
I don't like
Elon.
the X.
Well, that's Elon.
I like
Yeah.
Elon, I
Yes.
think.
Do you?
I think
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll get into that next time.
Yeah, we should.
Well, maybe I don't like him. But I think.
Stick to
We'll let you
your-
marinate.
I think I'm a little bit like him. I think
We'll
I
let
like
it
a little
marinate.
bit of like.
Well, look, like
My-
Like
opinion
like
changed
like
about
someone
him.
who's like a little different.
He's autistic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was the first autistic person to ever host SNL.
See, I didn't mean.
Oh, that's cool fact.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Well, maybe that is why. Oh no, I'm a little different, but I can like respect where his brain goes as an entertainer.
He's brilliant. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
He has a little some questionable things. I think we would be on the same team when we talk about it next time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or off
love
mic,
it.
we can get more into that.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And
Go ahead.
for me, you guys, again, it's Udeme with 3 E's, UDEMEEE. And then for Art by Udeme, it's Art by UDEME. 3 E's.
And we'll make that easy to see.
Right down in the show notes down below.
Yes.
Scroll down and click on that. Get in touch with these wonderful ladies. What a great conversation. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks, you guys. It was so good to be with you guys again.
Time flew
Had a
by.
couple
The
of beers.
sister energy.
Yes.
And I feel like this like, hopefully this conversation, anyone that was listening, like, we all expose things about ourselves here, and we can all like admit to our own downfalls and our faults in a safe manner. And respect ourselves while improving ourselves. Like, just because we aren't doing something right, like we can correct that in a positive way. We can acknowledge it in a positive way. Like, because like usually if we're like, you know, focusing on something that we don't like about ourselves, we get really negative.
Yeah.
But we could do that in a positive way, and I feel like we did that tonight.
Absolutely.
I feel like we did that tonight.
You guys definitely helped for
Yeah.
sure. Like, I appreciate you guys' energy of like giving off like solution energy versus like, oh, let's just complain about it. Like, you guys are like, every time we talked about something, you guys had like a solution. Like, well, what is this? Well, where does that come from? Where are we going after? So you guys are good with that. You guys are wonderful people.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
What
for
a
having
great
us.
compliment.
Thank you so much.
I'm proud of myself for just like letting loose and not like being so like, check out my website, artbyudeme.com. Like, I just like let myself be chill. Like,
The real.
yeah.
The real.
That's what it's
Udeme.
about.
I like
Yes.
that.
People relate to the authenticity.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm comfortable talking to just people like in a regular basis, but it's like when it's cameras and microphones, I'm like, all right, like
It's easy to go there.
Yeah, you know.
So yeah, that's what we try to do here at DCPC is capture these real experiences, these real
Yes.
conversations, real people
Yeah.
with real
I
opinions.
had a good time with
It
you
was
guys.
great. It was
So
great.
much
And this
fun.
was a long one, so we got to get out. We
Yeah,
got to start doing
this
some
is so
editing.
much fun.
We're still going to hang out off mic, of course. Thank you to our continued supporters out there, viewers, listeners. You know, Happy Friday, America's coming your way. Raw Talk. Who knows when that's dropping?
Yep.
Be sure to check me out over on Match the Gas podcast as well. Time to wrap it up. Y'all be good to yourselves.
You deserve it.
Yay. I loved it.
That was so good.
That was so fun.